we explain the rise of the New Kingdom of Egypt. As previously stated, the Middle Kingdom is generally thought to have been brought down by a group of people called the Hyksos. Many theories have been proposed as to the entrance and exit of the Hyksos from Egypt. The classical Jewish Roman historian Josephus claimed that the story of the Hyksos' rise and fall and return to Mesopotamia is also the story of the Hebrew Exodus under Moses. He based this on the Egyptian historian Manetho's account of the war against the Hyksos, where the Hyksos ended up returning to Mesopotamia, forming a town of Jerusalem, and then building a temple. Other historians and researchers question if the relationship between the Hyksos and the Hebrews is a collective memory from a variety of events that occurred in this time period, like unusual natural occurrences from the explosion at Thera or Akhenaten's push towards monotheism, or the Egyptian invasion at Canaan. The one thing historians and researchers seem to agree on today is that the arrival of the Hyksos was not so much an invasion as it was a long-term migration of people from Mesopotamia. They brought bows and horses, chariots and bronze weapons, and grew so much that over time they took control of Lower Egypt and got recognized as pharaohs. This led to the second intermediate phase and eventually the Theban revolt under King Ahmose when he expelled the Hyksos and brought about the 18th dynasty in the New Kingdom. The New Kingdom is the most completely researched age of Egypt and contains the most famous of the pharaohs like Ramses, Tut, Nefertiti, and Hatsheput. It's known as the Age of Egyptian Expansion as Egypt pushed back against would-be invaders and increased their territory into more African kingdoms like Nubia and Libya and deeper into Mesopotamia. It was marked by continuous building projects like the Temple at Karnak and a push for greater literacy by creating scribe schools. The age would also see the first female pharaohs like Hatsheput, showcasing the rights women held within Egyptian culture for centuries, which included divorce, property control, and the ability to serve as merchants and priests. But not total equality, as Hatsheput had to wear the false beard and male clothing in keeping with the tradition of the pharaoh during her 21-year reign, and women were also kept out of education in the scribe class. Over time during the New Kingdom, the priestly class began to take on more wealth and power. People began to be more loyal to the orders of the priests of the various gods and goddesses than they were the pharaohs. Akhenaten attempted to end this by declaring the only acceptable worship would be the one of Aten, the sun god. He destroyed all the other temples, and then he took on the idea of himself as the son of God rather than God himself. He built massive structures to Aten. However, after his death and the death of King Tut, Egypt returned to traditional polytheism. Later, researchers like the psychologist Sigmund Freud would claim there'd be a connection between Aten worship and Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The New Kingdom would find its last height under Ramses II and its expansion into Syria at the Battle of Kadesh, notable for the first peace treaty in history. After Ramses, Egypt declined. That decline opened it to invasions by those who they had conquered, and an attack by the mysterious Sea People. In the end, the New Kingdom fell to the Persians.